All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. There was a request to look at these three, so let's get to it. I'm going to look at Palantir. I generally look at SOUN when I look at that one, and then we'll take a quick look at SOFI as well. And look, on my last Palantir video, I said I think we are going to come to this 3270 line. We wicked it on Friday. Man, we dojiing it today. That is a beautiful, beautiful move, all right? I wasn't sure if we were going to break this, but I mean, look at NASDAQ, all right? I said it on yesterday's video. I was completely wrong. I didn't think we were going to make this kind of recovery. What a bounce on the 200. What a nice break of the 50 moving average. When NASDAQ looks like this, how can you expect Palantir to look any different, right? I talked about it on the last video, and I'll obviously say it in a couple minutes, but look, I realize that this is not all-time highs. There are clearly candles and wicks that have been higher. This is a very, very big and very, very important line, and it's golden for a reason, all right? And I'll get to that shortly, all right? SoundHound is a little on the horizontal side, right? I don't know what else to say, but it's actually been ping-ponging in this channel for a good while. So I think these are actually some pretty good lines. We'll also give good credit to that moving average cluster. I know I'm covering SoundHound, but how silly has SOUN been? Oh my goodness. And you know what? I make fun of myself in the Discord, SOND. I for sure, give me a second, aged poorly. This aged very poorly, and it did. I see big percents on SON, but the charts look horrible. Ugly chart, and hey, lo and behold, look what SON did, right? This is why I always say, hey, don't hesitate to disagree with me. I'm often wrong, and yeah, I was clearly wrong on that one. But yeah, SoundHound, which we're going to talk about, staying horizontal. And hey, SOFI starting to look really pretty. SOFI, green, red, green is what I'm seeing, you know? And hey, a tough rejection on the 200, but a good re-attempt back on it, right? And hey, a decent line right there as well. But yeah, excited to talk about these, especially given how nice the overall market looks, you know what I mean? But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here and giving me your time, oh, I am so grateful for it, all right? So Palantir. Look, there are a few things I want to call out, and then I'll jump into where I was wrong with the NASDAQ and so forth, right? But man, look, when you get over one of my favorite catchphrases of my videos are, if you can break if you can break all 5, you will fly. If you lose all 5, you will die. And hey, look, over all 5 on one big monster candle will lead to a beautiful sustained uptrend that doesn't even have to touch the 8 moving average. You know what I mean? Like that is technical analysis 101, right? And let's just look at this day a little bit more, right? We see that the MACD is positive and it was getting ready to go green over red, right? On that same day down here, look at how low the RSI was. It was only a 52. Plenty of room for it to come up to the 72. You know, I don't even get worried until the 80s, right? So, I mean, a lot of really good happened on this candle. I think my last video was probably around that, if I had to guess too. And like I said, I mean, we don't even have to bounce on the 8. We're just, the aura of it is just pushing us like a magnet. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing, right? When we look at the weekly, listen, if I love it when the daily is over all 5, can you imagine how happy I get when you're over all 5 on the weekly and the daily? And let's be honest, even before this 5th one was even created, we were over all 4 on the weekly for most of it. You know what I mean? So when you're over the daily, you're over the weekly, you're over all the moving averages on both, what else can you think but good? right? RSI is a little on the higher side at 76, right? I generally get worried around 80, like I said, but hey, that's a nice MACD. It's testing a big line. So let's talk about this yellow line. Why did I draw that there instead of a little bit higher? So I'm going to move our mouse to here. And then let's expand this because I want to show you all the, is that the only moment? That is the only moment. So this is the only moment over that, okay? And the reason I chose this line is because it's the top of this really early January 2021 candle, as well as the bottom of this January 2021 candle, all right? I think the next line to draw, and I'll draw it, I'm gonna put this 36 one right here. Really, I think I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put it here. It's a little bit over that and it's a little bit over half, but I can see this going to 36 if we can break this 32. But again, to me, this is the line. This is the last true, like, we've had a couple peaks and then we like, if we can get over that line, in my head, this is ready and primed to take over all-time highs, all right? So that's why I drew it there. Clearly, I drew another line. This is still remaining that golden yellow one, all right? I talked about it in the beginning of the video, but let's come into the NASDAQ. Let's come into QQQ real quick. It'll be the easier view, and obviously, they look the same. So, look, I talk about the 200. I didn't make up these 5 lines, all right? The 50, the 100, and the 200 are as textbook as technical average, moving averages get, all right? Technical analysis, excuse me. I would say the 20 is a little bit on the special side, and then the 8 is actually very special. There's not that many people that talk about this one, right? But, and again, I'm not pretending these are the 5 best ones, right? But the 200 is as textbook as it gets, and the 200 is the hardest one to break up and the hardest one to lose down. And I mean, this QQQ says it for sure. I keep saying I was wrong. I did not think we were going to get over the last one. I thought we would make a good little climb, hit this bad boy, and kind of end up coming our way back down. No. Lo and behold, today makes me actually believe we've also taken the 50 moving average. Hopefully tomorrow confirms. And then, hey, QQQ is over all the moving averages. When I get into the NASDAQ composite, exact same chart, right? That is still a very healthy RSI. That's a really nice MACD. Green is over red. We're not quite at the 0 positive, but yeah, we're knocking on the door, right? So it is hard to no longer be, it's hard to be scared of NASDAQ now. You know what I mean? So let's get a good little confirmation tomorrow. And yeah, that's going to obviously help Palantir so much. All right. So let me know if you have any, I think, I haven't said this when I covered Palantir in a while. The guy that founded this thing is part of the PayPal army. All right. Elon is part of the PayPal army. The PayPal army is like 6 dudes that started PayPal, the company that you do the mobile transactions with. The PayPal army, they're like what, 20 of the 100 richest people in the world, 6, whatever. You get what I'm saying, right? The PayPal army is no joke. They are connected. They've been connected for a while. Again, Elon's one of these dudes, right? So Peter Thistle, I think is the guy's name. Peter's T. This dude's no joke, and he's got government connections. He's got money. He's a for real dude, and having that behind your company. And look, the guy's a little bit on the controversial side. I'm not here to give you my opinions of him. I don't care about yours. I just know that's a CEO to put your money behind, especially given his pedigree. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I've said that in a good while, but yeah, PayPal Army, dude, as your CEO. I mean, come on, right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into SoundHound. And you know, it's funny, okay? Because I still remember this as a $2 stock, all right? So to complain about it being horizontal for doji after doji after doji after doji at 4, to complain about being horizontal at 5, which is more than 2x that 4, that 2 we were not that long ago. It's a little silly to be, you know, you get what I'm saying, right? But hey, nonetheless, SoundHound has found a way to stay horizontal for longer than most parabolic stocks can. And I think in the back of my head, there's some strength to that. Because, hey, look, let's be honest. Most of the stocks that I cover, they go up, up, up. That red, 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 green, green, green. I say that like 1,000 times on my videos because those are the stocks that I look at, right? You get these whoop and then, right? This thing can stay horizontal, and that's not a bad thing for what otherwise should be a parabolic stock. It almost gives it enough time for some sort of PR to drop or some sort of head like this or that, right? You get what I'm saying. So I just want to really call that out before I jump into the technicals. Real quick, hey, if you can subscribe and share this video, it does wonders. So what's going on right now with SoundHound? Look, I have 5 moving averages, all right? 4 out of the 5 is 80% of them, and we are trapped in 80% of the lines, all right? We've been for a good while too, and now they're starting to get really tight, really tight, really tight. I can see SoundHound either breaking 530 and taking off, or potentially losing 470-ish, right? I'm clicking at 460 something, and coming all the way down here. Because, yeah, under that line, we see that red, 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 green, 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 red, red, green, green, red, red, right? Like, that's a fast drop down, and hey, that's a fast drop up, right? So I think for now with SoundHound, this is a channel play. You're going from the last of the moving averages to just a little bit higher up, making me believe that we were going to break it and go. And, you know, we might just be going from the top to the bottom to the top to the bottom to the top to the bottom. And hey, for some people, that's a really good trade, right? You buy somewhere close to down here, you sell somewhere up here, and you just ping pong up and down until you see a stronger sign, all right? And look, RSI, I do see that the green is kind of peeking under. I can see like a little hint of green right there. This RSI is pretty much flat. It's a little hard to use, right? I said that, right? RSI is flat. The MACD is pretty much flat. Yeah, it's positive for sure, but yeah, it's pretty much flat, right? I think until we see a stronger sign, we're just ping-ponging on this channel, all right? So 530 is your golden money line, and you're going to be happy. 470, let's call it 465, 464, something like that. I think around here, 466, maybe even a little lower. I think that's as low as I'd be willing to go. We'll call it 457, 460, 457, somewhere down there. That's where I would start to get scared, and I'd be worried about that slip down to basically 4, all right? But again, it wasn't that long ago that this was a $2 stock. I know most of the SoundHound people that watch my videos are actually longs and strongs, right? So this was a good moment, obviously. This brought more volume, and now there's some newer people coming in. For the most part, we're just, like I said, we're living in that channel, and you can see it. That's been since what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for the last 6 months. We've significantly been between those two lines, and actually even more significantly between that 530 and 470 range that I was saying. You know what I mean? So it's a strong channel for sure. So I don't think I need to look at the weekly, but yeah, I don't think there's too much more to take out of this. I mean, we're not losing it, we're not breaking it. We're just kind of staying within the 8 and the 20 moving average, right? And again, I talked about in the beginning, I'll say it one last time. I feel like this ability to hold horizontally isn't that bad a thing. It really isn't. Most things fall until the news saves it. I don't mind going a little horizontal until something helps it pump, you know what I mean? And then we clearly have our death line down. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into SOFI. And hey, SOFI has had a pretty decent month, to say the least, all right? So I think I don't know if it was the last video I made, but I remember this right here. I know I made a video in this July time frame where I felt like it was ready to go. It actually made a decent move, but you can see that 200 moving average was pesky. Lo and behold, we're right back where we're at. So I'll talk about these candles one more time just in case, and then what I'm thinking for, tomorrow onward. But real quick, hey, if you can please subscribe, if you can share this video, it does wonders with these algorithms, all right? So I'm zooming back, yeah, really till here. I'm gonna highlight this 50 moving average, all right? This red line was a tough line. All right, it was a really tough line, and man, there was just something about that doji and day after that really did it for me. I like the MACD, the RSI, and the volume. You can see how much nicer that little frame is right there than any of these other moments where we were trying to test that 50 line, right? So I was really digging that. All of a sudden, you can see what we did, right? We went green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 right? And I just talked about the parabolic movements of the stocks, and yeah, this is what I love, right? We make a move to the top, we make a technical bounce and a reattempt, and then just a hard rejection. All right. And look, this hard rejection was very much timed with the S&P 500 hard rejection. All right. So I really don't think this was very SOFI specific. You know what I mean? This was a scary day in the market. It really was. It was a scary few days in the market, right? And look, I obviously flashed it quickly, but I hope you saw it. That exact same recovery on the S&P 500 is what is bringing this SOFI recovery up on top of the green, 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 red, 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 green, green, green that I mentioned not that long ago, right? I love the fact that we're right back up at this 200 moving average. All right, let's just zoom out again and let's look at that line. We actually haven't touched that 200 moving average. In that same time frame I was talking about the 50, we were nowhere even nearly remote to that 200, right? So the fact that we've been here almost every single week, we only missed it by 2 weeks, right? I guess this week we didn't even touch it either, right? These 2 weeks we missed it, but hey, all of a sudden we're right back in the zone. And again, S&P 500 I already showed. Let's show the NASDAQ here just in case. Comp Q, NASDAQ. Nope, I clicked the wrong one. Ooh, CCU looks interesting. I don't like that volume. That's really low volume. I would skip CCU. Comp Q. So I mean, this right here is telling me I think NASDAQ wants to come up. I think NASDAQ might even have a real shot at 18.5. I think 18,400 is a pretty good immediate target though. And hey, if NASDAQ is going to go up, if S&P 500 is going to keep going up, you got to believe SOFI will, because SOFI likes to live in between those two. It likes to be a bread and butter bank, but it likes to really say, hey, we are the name technologies is in the name, right? Like they love to play that NASDAQ aspect of what really is nothing more than a bread and butter bank, right? And hey, I'm not here to like hate on that. I've kind of given my opinions. I don't really believe in the technology side of it, but end of the day, when the S&P and NASDAQ does well, that is the moment for SOFI to attack, and that's what it's at least trying to do, all right? Clearly, if we can break the 200 moving averages, in my mind, I'm going to think to myself, break all five and fly, right? And these are our lines up. You know what I want to do? Let me try to do something. What happens if I take you here? I like this line. All right, I'm going to lower this line to 772. What is this 200 moving average at? 750. Yeah, you know what? For 20 cents, I'll wait. I think I would wait for 770. And then, I mean, just look at this channel, right? Green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, green. Like this is probably the only little horizontal moment in it. And I mean, it's barely a horizontal. I think I would put a line around that 845, 849. I like that line right there. I think those are my three lines up. If we can break the 200 moving average, I like the MACD. We have a nice green over red that looks like it's hungry for the positive. I like this very low 50 RSI, and knowing that it just was at an 83 RSI not that long ago. And hey, looky, volume ain't that bad. It hasn't been super consistent, but there's a decent consistent slope that I'm seeing here. So SOFI, this has been the last few videos on SOFI have been the best I've made almost all year, and that's a nice thing to feel, you know what I mean? So let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions. Did I look at the weekly? I don't think so. Give me a second. Oh man, 772 is a big money line. That'll get us over all of these on the weekly. And look, there is no 200 moving average. That would put us over all the moving averages on the weekly. That would put us over all the moving averages on the daily. That's the exact same thing I said about Palantir. Over all the moving averages on the daily, over all the moving averages on the weekly. All you can do is go up, up, up. You know what I mean? So it's very close. It being SOFI, it's very close to a nice move. All right. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Oh, I appreciate you so much.